I think telling a woman that there's a problem in a relationship is not as easy as a process as y'all think it is. And so as a man, you're constantly like feel like you're about to walk on eggshells. Like I need to make sure that this is the right time, that I pick the right words to say that I have a problem with something. Because if I say one wrong word, if I use a slightly wrong tone, if it's the wrong timing, you're gonna flip it around on me, and it's gonna become an argument that I don't want to have.
Y'all said
Garbage came for
whenever
the
you get a
ladies.
chance. That's what the word you use. Whenever
Yeah, yeah.
you
Don't do
get a
that.
chance.
Don't do that.
Okay. So
Oh,
when
come
I get a
Garbage
on,
chance,
not
came.
to
I'll
be
do it. I'm not.
annoying.
I don't mean this right now. You said whenever you get a chance. So that means whenever I find free time for me to do something for you, I will do it. But if you want it immediately done, you need to use a different set of words.
Okay.
Learn how to
I'll
communicate,
get the
ladies.
drill.
Y'all are
That's
massive
something that
communicators.
works.
Listen,
Y'all need to learn how
No,
to
no, I
communicate
think
better.
he's right. We're trying to be like soft with it, and we're like, oh, whenever you have a chance, so we don't seem like we're like pressing them and giving them a time.
Like with my father, I always do it like he's not a procrastinator, but his mind is elsewhere. He's always working. And I needed something to be installed on the wall. So I brought all the tools together close to him so he will see them like, okay, whenever you have the chance, you're going to do it. But literally the tools were there for like a whole week and he didn't do it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know how to tell him. Then that I text him, whenever you have a chance, can you please help me put the frame on the wall? And he's like, yeah, I'll do it. Cool. But he didn't do it. 2 weekends. And then I was like, you know what? I plugged the
Just
drill
do it myself.
and I'm like, the drill.
But
And then he's
look,
like,
did
what are
you hear
you
what
doing?
I've also found that word too. That sometimes
listen.
like
hmm
if
I,
you
was-
But
I
you
wanted
see
to
how
say
he
that.
started running to do it? You see how
sometimes
he
y'all not
started
you,
running?
At
Listen.
the moment,
found
he
y'all
said,
y'all need to learn how to
sometimes
communicate.
you're sitting there, you do it yourself, and you say like, you know what, forget it, I'll just do it myself. But you make sure you do it in front of them because you know you
Yeah,
ask them immediately. They'll be
I
like,
was
oh,
But
just
did
about to
y'all hear the
say.
words that I
I,
use
I just
though?
want to say this real
Did
quick.
y'all hear
Garbage
the
came
words
for
that
the
I
ladies.
use? Y'all said
Garbage came for
whenever
the
you get a
ladies.
chance. That's what the word you use. Whenever
Yeah, yeah.
you
Don't do
get a
that.
chance.
Don't do that.
Okay. So
Oh,
when
come
I get a
Garbage
on,
chance,
not
came.
to
I'll
be
do it. I'm not.
annoying.
I don't mean this right now. You said whenever you get a chance. So that means whenever I find free time for me to do something for you, I will do it. But if you want it immediately done, you need to use a different set of words. Learn
Okay.
how to
I'll
communicate,
get the
ladies.
drill.
Y'all are
That's
massive
something that
communicators.
works.
Listen.
Y'all need to learn how
No,
to
Listen.
no, I
communicate
think
better.
he's right. We're trying to be like soft with it, and we're like, oh, whenever you have a chance, so we don't seem like we're like pressing them and giving them a time. But whenever you have a chance means whenever they have a chance. So we have to be more honest. We don't want it whenever they have a chance. We want it. Can you
Exactly.
find some time this week to get this done? Anytime this week would be great. Or the trash smells really bad. Do you mind taking it out? And if
Listen.
you explain what the problem is, they'll be like, oh, I'm doing such and such. I'll do it after this. Or "Oh, I'll do it right now because I ain't doing nothing." But if you don't
Listen.
explain, you're like, oh, do this. And they're like, oh, yeah. That's not good communication. Both sides have not communicated fully what they need. Sorry. Go ahead, Cloud.
Ladies, I want to give y'all some game when it comes to this garbage situation. It's very simple. If you want them to take out the garbage, the best way to do I've learned that the best way to get somebody to do something you want is help them, right? So if you wrap up that garbage bag and hand it to him, he gonna take it out right now. You know what I'm saying? Or for example, another thing that might help is ask him to do it and then just do it. But make sure that when you're doing it, he sees you doing it. Cause then he gonna be sitting like there like, she really taking out this garbage. Like, woman, give me that damn garbage. Let me take it out. You know what I'm saying? He's not gonna want to see you struggling with the garbage bag. So sometimes you just gotta do actions right in front of us for us to see it. And then we're gonna be like, nah, baby, put that garbage bag down. I got that. Nah, baby, put them groceries down. I got
is
it.
a fine balance between that though.
Yeah.
I've learned that too. That sometimes when you just be like, "F it, I'll just do it myself," because you want it done now. You do that too often, then
Oh
sometimes
yeah,
it can become the expectation.
Yeah,
Like
that's true.
you
That's true.
got
That's
it.
true.
Don't
That's
do
So
true.
I
it.
agree
it's
with
a
Not
that.
even that's
fine
true. That's
balance
true. That's true.
between that.
Because y'all ladies are so
Don't use the
impatient.
drill.
That's very true.
Y'all ladies are so
Said she
impatient. Y'all
got the
can't help
drill. She
yourself.
did not do it.
Mad
She got
impatient.
the
Don't use the
drill.
drill. I just turned the drill and I'm like,
Exactly.
but I was not gonna do it
Don't
because
do
if
it.
I do
That's
it,
the
you're gonna
trick.
be like, no.
You go too far, mistaken.
Listen, or you could do a trade off. Be like, yo, listen, dinner's ready, but first that garbage been sitting there for a while. You know what I'm saying? Dinner's ready, but that TV, I made pecan cobbler tonight, but that TV ain't got mounted yet. So go mount that real quick, and I'm gonna bring out the food. You know what I'm
That
saying?
works
It's a little,
too.
little give and take. You know what I mean?
You know what? That's something else. It might work for some people. Again, the body language says more than words. And I learned that with my mom and my daughter. I apply it. So with my man, I told him something that I really feel like uncomfortable he was doing. So I told him twice. The first time I was like, okay, look, this is something, okay, in a good way. And then the second way I was more like caring. Can you please, la la la. But then the third time, I just gave him a look. I just gave him a look, and he's like, what did I do? And I'm like, and he literally got up because that was the only thing that I brought up to him. So he's like, oh, did I do this? And I'm like, just a look. And now that's what I do. I just give him a look, and he knows what it means. So it works.
And I want to say,
you gotta hear you talk. That works.
To what JR said, which I think is paramount, is that a lot of times as women, which men say that we're complaining, but I think it's about communication. I think a lot of times women do communicate way more to the men when things are bothering them. They do it in the moment when things are bothering them. And a lot of times men are not communicating those things to us. And sometimes what happens is, one, it can create an environment in which y'all are allowing us to be delusional, in a sense that we're thinking that all of the problems in the relationship is you, because we are verbalizing issues that we see and want to be fixed, whereas you're not saying anything, which leads us to believe that you are the problem. And I'm not saying that that's right, but you guys have got to let us know when we're falling short as well, is basically what I'm getting at. Because if it seems like I'm the one that's always complaining or having an issue, it is going to seem very one-sided. And I had to have that discussion because my husband, he actually called me out on it. He was like, you're always the one that is saying something. You may point something out, but don't think that I don't just overlook stuff. I overlook a lot of things and I just don't say anything to you. And I was like, okay, but in that regard, if you see me sharing with you things that I'm like, I need you to work on, and I'm communicating that you're making a choice not to communicate those things to me, then you can't fault me that I'm continuing to do things that you don't want because you never shared with me that was an issue for you. And so now, in terms of communication, both of us, I'm like, check me in a moment that you see it happen. Don't wait until we get into an argument about something that I brought to you, and then it comes up, well, you don't do blah, 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 blah. Because at that point, it seems like it's a tit for tat, and I'm really not going to take what you're saying seriously because I think you're just saying it to make an argument, to prove a point. So to JR's case, yes, it's very important that you as men share with us where we're falling short or things that we can do better, just so both of us are happier. But when you leave it on us to communicate, we're going to say stuff. And it's going to always seem like we're the one with the problem when you may have issues too.
I think telling a woman that there's a problem in a relationship is not as easy as a process as y'all think it is. And so as a man, you're constantly like, feel like you're about to walk on eggshells. Like, I need to make sure that this is the right time, that I pick the right words to say that I have a problem with something. Because if I say one wrong word, if I use a slightly wrong tone, if it's the wrong timing, you're going to flip it around on me and it's going to become an argument that I don't want to have. So rather than me expressing to you that I have a problem, I'm going to just, what the hell? Yeah, I'm going to just ignore that shit and just be like, you know what? Let me just deal with how I feel about this on my own and just watch the game or watch a movie or put my attention to work. Because if I talk to you about this, it's going to be a 3-4 hour argument over nothing when really I just want you to change a small thing.
Well, so this is always the case in a man's mind. You think it's going to be a bigger deal than what it is?
Yes,
Yep.
I think most men are expecting it to be a bigger deal than what it is than what we brought to you. Yes, that's our expectation. Like if I tell her it could be something simple like, baby, I'm not really feeling your hairstyle. What you mean you're not feeling that? What you did? I don't like that dress. What you mean that? Listen, we don't really want that type of stress. We want peace in our lives. So to avoid having arguments and fights, sometimes we'll just not say something.
Well, first thing first is it's the accountability. A lot of women don't want to accept the accountability what a man is saying. And then the next thing is, if it's a small issue and it's not that big of an issue, we don't, like Klaus said, we really don't have a long jump now discussion. We want to say it right then and there and get it done, get over it. And then we also have to self-evaluate. Okay, I got to make sure my tone and my delivery is right. You know, I don't want to come off angry or overly aggressive type way, because then that's a different type of conversation I don't want to have. You know what I'm saying? She may not even hear the message. She just don't like the tone I said it in.